So you have an incredible job because you are, in a sense, a gastronomical ambassador.
Slash traveler, interloper, and self-exiled cultural meme all his own. I think I have the best job in the whole world, and it certainly gets better and better and better for me.
So how important is food as a gateway to culture? Is it the most important?
I think it's the most important. If you consider, I mean, math, music, and food, right? If you take away someone's boombox, I'd punch someone in the face. If you take away their quadratic equation, I mean, I know we need math, but it's it's like if I do one less problem on my worksheet, I'll be fine. But historically, when you look back at the history of human evolution, if you take away rice or bread, there's blood in the streets. That's the stuff that revolution is made of. And quite frankly, when you look at the developing world over the last 500 years, people travel with their food. And their food is then discovered by people in the 17th and 16th centuries during the colonial movement. And that was the beginning of what I call this global food train that sort of just kept chugging around and chugging around, leaving parts of itself all over. And I think most importantly, especially when you look at the refugee crisis in the world, when you look at new immigrants into our country or into other countries, when people go somewhere, what excites them is taking their food with them, and what cheers them up when they come from a situation that is horrific is to be welcomed into a community of their own people by their own food.
Well, and you've talked about that, particularly with Syria and Cuba. I know that you've spoken about maybe people would have a better understanding and a greater desire to embrace other cultures if they knew more about Syrian food.
Well, taking people into Syria was probably one of the great treats of my professional life. And sadly, almost everyone in the Syria show is no longer with us. Palmyra is rubble. It made the Parthenon look like my kid's Lego set. It was so dramatically beautiful.
Isn't that almost the saddest part, though? That in a sense is so heartbreaking
because it's symbolic. Because if they'll destroy Palmyra, it gives you an idea of how many lives are lost. I mean, I know what you mean by that. I think the human tragedy is by far the greater one. The symbolism of it, it's hard for people to get their minds around 1 million dead, half the country dead.
Yeah, it's almost like
exiled.
Your brain and your feelings shut off to that because you can't process it.
Can't compute it. But the Souk in Aleppo, which was written about as being 1,000 years old in the Bible, and I've met vendors there who trace their family's history selling olives or honey in that market back predating the Bible. To think of them as all being gone and that market being rubble is one of the great losses. I have a little bit of honey from that.
You can't replace that. I mean, it's literally an irreplaceable thing. But
it's amazing that you use that word. I was doing an interview this morning with a print journalist, and I was talking about, everyone talks about our natural resources as being irreplaceable, and they are, but also our cultural resources are irreplaceable. There is such a thing as the last bottle of water in the desert, and when someone drinks it, it's gone, and there's no more putting it back.
All right, let's not get all Malthusian. I want to talk a little bit about this food, and I have a question. As you are cutting into this brisket and this pastrami bacon and the Jamaican jerk, spare
baby
ribs?
backs.
Baby backs.
Yeah, these are the full spare ribs, just salt, pepper, and oak. And this is from my friend Bill Journey and the good folks at Hometown
This
Barbecue.
may not be the most exotic thing you've ever eaten, but it sure looks GD delicious.
Here's the thing. It's exotic to some people who may have never seen this before. So imagine the Spanish explorers, coming into St. Augustine, Florida at the beginning of the 16th century and seeing local Indians. No, go right ahead. And seeing local Indians cooking whole animals on greenwood, suspended 6-8 feet over an open fire, covered with palm fronds.
The brisket melts in your mouth.
I think it's
so delicious.
Not even close. This what the folks at Hometown are doing is puts them into a category of super elites.
People should come to Brooklyn. They should travel as the Travel Channel instructs them. Come to Brooklyn, come to Hometown, have this, it will change your life. Last question, why do so many cultures have weird food? Are they showing off? Is it the rarest things? What is the unifying element of that?
Because that's the way the whole world ate 500 years ago, and those cultures haven't been buried under modernist cultural rubble the way we have in the United States, portioning luxury cuts for people in a supermarket in a rushed society based on convenience. This is the food that takes time. It's 18 hours to make some of these meats, standing over a fire. It's a perfect combination.
Andrew Zimmern, thank you so much.
Thanks, Kennedy.